I'm your host, Mike, and I'm thrilled to have you here today. Whether you're just starting out or already on your journey, we're here to guide you through the exciting world of learning English. Today's topic is something every English learner wonders about. How long does it take to learn English? We're going to break it down and share insights that can help you set realistic goals and make progress faster. And of course, I'm not doing this alone. Joining me today is my amazing co-host, Lisa. Lisa, how are you feeling about today's topic?
Hi, Mike, and hi to all our listeners. I'm so excited to be here. This is such an important question because learning English is a journey, and everyone's experience is different. I think today's discussion is going to inspire and motivate a lot of people.
Absolutely. So let's dive in and start exploring this fascinating topic. Learning English is a unique experience for everyone. It depends on so many factors. How much time you dedicate, your learning style, and even your environment. Some people might pick it up faster, while others take longer, and that's completely okay. But it does make you wonder, is there a standard timeline? How long does it really take to learn English?
That's such a good question, Mike, and the answer is, it depends. But we do have some general benchmarks. For example, studies from language institutes suggest that it typically takes around 600 to 750 hours of study to become conversational in English. That's for someone learning consistently, of course. If we break it down, it could mean about 6 months to a year of focused effort for beginners to reach a conversational level. But going from conversational to advanced? That might take another year or two, depending on how much you immerse yourself in the language.
Wow, 600 to 750 hours. That really puts things into perspective, and I'm sure factors like motivation, consistency, and exposure play a big role in how quickly someone progresses.
Exactly. The journey isn't just about hours, it's about how you use them. Immersing yourself in English through real-world practice can sometimes cut that time significantly.
All right, let's get into it. Learning a language is more than just sitting down with a textbook or taking a class. There are so many factors that can impact how quickly you pick up English. Lisa, what do you think are the key factors that determine someone's learning speed?
There are quite a few, Mike, but let's focus on the big three: motivation, consistency, and exposure. First up, motivation. Why you're learning English can make a huge difference. If you're learning because you love the language or need it for an important goal, like getting a job or traveling, you're more likely to stick with it.
That's a great point, Lisa. I've seen people who learned English super quickly because they were moving to an English-speaking country and had no choice but to learn fast. The motivation was survival, and that pushed them forward.
Exactly. Now, the second factor is consistency. It's not about studying for hours once a week. It's about practicing a little bit every day. Even 20 minutes daily can add up over time and make a big difference.
Right. I think of it like going to the gym. You won't get results by working out once a month, but steady effort brings progress. Have you seen this with learners you've worked with?
Oh, absolutely. I had a friend who committed to just 15 minutes a day of speaking practice, and within 6 months they were holding basic conversations. Small, consistent actions really do add up.
And the third factor?
Exposure. The more you surround yourself with English, whether it's watching movies, listening to podcasts, or having conversations, the faster you'll improve. Immersion makes your brain get used to the language naturally.
I love that. It reminds me of someone I met who learned English just by watching their favorite TV show with subtitles. They picked up not just the words, but also the natural way people speak.
That's a great example. I know someone who used music to learn. They'd listen to songs, look up the lyrics, and sing along. It became fun instead of feeling like homework.
Those are some fantastic stories. So motivation, consistency, and exposure. If you focus on these three, you'll definitely see faster progress.
Exactly. And the great thing is, these are things anyone can work on. You just need to find the methods that work best for you.
Now that we've talked about what affects learning speed, let's get specific. Lisa, can you give us a realistic breakdown of how long it takes to learn English at different levels? I know a lot of our listeners are eager to hear some concrete timelines.
Absolutely, Mike. Let's start with beginners. If you're starting from zero and practice regularly, say dedicating an hour or two a day, you can expect to reach a conversational level in about 6 to 12 months. That means being able to hold basic conversations, understand common phrases, and navigate everyday situations.
That sounds encouraging. What about moving from conversational to a more advanced level?
Great question. Once you're conversational, reaching advanced fluency can take another 1 to 2 years, depending on your effort. At this level, you'll be able to express yourself more naturally, understand complex topics, and even think in English without translating in your head. But it's important to note that this stage often requires more immersion and consistent real-life practice.
So, for someone putting in regular effort, we're talking about roughly 2 to 3 years to go from a complete beginner to advanced fluency. But that's with consistent work, right?
Exactly, Mike. Progress really depends on how much time and effort you're willing to invest. Someone who practices daily, engages in real-life situations, and immerses themselves in English will learn much faster than someone who only studies occasionally or relies solely on textbooks.
That makes sense. It's not just about studying, but also about using the language actively. Would you say these timelines are flexible?
Absolutely. For example, someone living in an English-speaking country might progress faster due to constant exposure, while someone with limited access to English might take longer. It's all about how you approach the process.
That's a great point. So to our listeners out there, don't stress too much about the timeline. Focus on building good habits and staying consistent. Progress will come naturally.
Exactly. Remember, learning a language is a journey, not a race. Celebrate your progress no matter how small and keep going.
So, Lisa, let's give our listeners something they can use right away. What are some actionable tips for those who want to learn English faster?
Great question, Mike. First, take advantage of technology. There are so many apps and online tools out there like Duolingo, Memrise, and Babbel. These apps make it easy to practice vocabulary, grammar, and even pronunciation in short, manageable sessions.
Apps are such a convenient way to practice on the go. What else can learners do?
Another big one is speaking with native speakers. Platforms like italki, Preply, or even language exchange apps like Tandem or HelloTalk are fantastic for this. Practicing with someone who's fluent not only builds your confidence, but also helps you pick up natural expressions and improve your accent.
That's a great tip. Talking to real people really forces you to think in English. What about learners who might not have access to native speakers right away?
No problem. Immersion is still possible. Watch movies or TV shows in English and listen to podcasts, just like this one. Subtitles can help at first, but try to watch or listen without them as you improve. It's a fun way to get used to the rhythm and sounds of the language.
That's such a fun way to learn, and I imagine it feels less like studying, right?
Exactly. Lastly, I always recommend keeping a journal in English. It doesn't have to be long. Just write a few sentences about your day or your thoughts. It helps you practice writing and thinking in English. Plus, it's a great way to track your progress over time.
These are such practical tips, Lisa. And I'd add one more thing. Make learning enjoyable. Find topics you're genuinely interested in, whether it's cooking, sports, or music, and explore them in English. When you're having fun, it doesn't feel like work.
Absolutely. The more you enjoy the process, the more motivated you'll be to stick with it. And that's the key to learning faster. Stay consistent and have fun.
Great advice, Lisa. So to all our listeners, start with these tips and see how much progress you can make. Let's keep learning together. Wow, Lisa, we've covered so much today. From the factors that affect learning speed to realistic timelines and actionable tips, I hope our listeners feel more confident about their English learning journey.
Absolutely, Mike. And if there's one takeaway from today, it's that learning English is a journey, not a race. Take it one step at a time, celebrate small wins, and enjoy the process.
Exactly. So to all our listeners, thanks for tuning in to the Chat Fluent Podcast. We'd love to hear about your own experiences with learning English. How long has it taken you? What's worked best for you? Share your thoughts with us.
And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. If you found today's discussion helpful, share it with a friend who's also learning English.
That's right. Together we can make the journey more enjoyable and effective.